Good morning, everyone. Today is our full day here. It's like midday. Annie was up all night editing, and I was up all night watching her edit. And this place is really good, but the bed is like sleeping on concrete. It is probably the hardest bed I've ever slept on in my life. So wasn't a good night's sleep, we'll just put it at that. Today we're going to be heading out to the Massacre Museum, adventure and explore, plus get some insightful information on what actually happened here and share it with you guys. But first we're going to go down, get some brekkie, get some coffee before we head on out. I think it's a bit of a motorbike ride there too, so that should be fun as well. Alrighty, better get moving. So guys, if you're here, you know, there's not a lot of food places and that, and you're wondering where to go. Guys, this place here, look them up. They're really good. They just do coffee and ice cream, but it was delicious, and it's a really nice little cafe too with internet. It was only 30,000 or 33,000 for each drink. So that was really good. So guys, check these guys out if you're here. Okay, so we've just arrived at the Massacre Museum, and first of all, we are like the only people here. I guess that's one of the perks of being in a place that doesn't have many tourists. Secondly, that ride here was just perfect. That was so much fun. Slash the scenery, like, life is just better on a motorbike when you're traveling, and it is seriously making us think and consider how we get to Ho Chi Minh from here, and whether, well, personally I would love to just hire a motorbike and just go put the backpacks on.
It was
and
so
would
much
Annie.
fun. It's absolutely changed my mind. Sorry, this is the one downside of a motorbike, my hair. Every time I get off I have to untangle the 60,000 knots I've just acquired, but it is beautiful. It's just seeing it from a whole other perspective.
And you get to go at your own pace, your own time. You just visually just get to see so much more. You can stop whenever you want. Anyway, we're about to go in and have a look. There's the museum entrance. We'll bring you along. So as you can read right there, that is the list of the victims killed in the massacre. Holy dooly. So this here is a representation of the village, of what it looked like before the massacre occurred. And this was after the massacre, what the village looked like. Here's just some of the shots. So this guy here was an army photographer, and he's the one that took all these photos. So these are just some of the artillery used to fire on the villages here, and these are the weapons that they used, or just some of them anyway. This big thing here is actually a 500 kilo bomb that was dropped after the massacre, just to sweep out anything or anyone that was left. It's very full on being in here, very full on. So this this gentleman here, his name was Hugh Thompson. He was actually a helicopter pilot in the war, and he was one of the good ones who actually saw what was going on and couldn't believe it, and ended up saving civilians from the Americans, to the point where he said that if the Americans don't stop the killing, he will turn his gun in his helicopter on his own teammates, essentially. So a very brave act. So guys, the reason when I talk and I was keeping the facts quite brief and small, I was just reading off what the information sheets were at the bottom. And the other reason is, myself, Randy, I don't think we're super comfortable talking openly about everything that went on, and I just think it's always a bit of a touchy thing to be talking about stuff that you really don't know a lot about. So, but it's definitely, you know, really shocking to actually go in there. It was quite right in your face. There are images. It is sadly young women and children and men being killed, and it's, you know, right there, and they obviously don't hide anything or censor anything. But definitely this place, if you are here, is highly recommended coming out here. Come out here and just have a look, but be prepared, it is quite full on. So this is actually one of the this was an artillery shelter that was here, and as you can see how small it is. That's Annie going in. What's it like in there, Annie?
Oh my god.
Alright, I'm gonna have a cracker going in. Annie's only 5'7" and she looks huge in that. I don't know how my 6'6" frame's gonna go, but we'll give it a go.
This is inside the artillery shelter.
Wow, this is crazy. First of all, just how small it is. I think definitely one of the reasons things were so small here all the time was, one, the people weren't very big. They didn't need to be big, but two, the smaller it is, the less it stands out. Like as you can see before, it's got all this bush and natural covering on the top of it, so. Oh, okay.
Tight fit.
Wow, that's tiny.
Okay, so as you can see, they have actually fully restored this house in 2003 to look as it did before it was burnt down. This is another house of one of the families that was in the massacre. Quite a surreal experience seeing something like this. I did shed a couple of tears before when we were in the museum showing all the photographs. It's very hard to comprehend how something like that could have ever happened. I'm just finding it quite hard to find appropriate words, I guess. But it still is something that I'm very glad that we've seen today. It really opens your eyes.
So this here is another what's left of another house. So this was burnt down by the American troops. So guys, as you can see, there was age 57, age 22, age 9, age 3 and age 2, which is just horrible to think about. We're not 100% sure, but while looking around, this seems to be the major rice paddy field section. So just from looking at the pictures and that, I'm guessing this is where the Americans actually crept up on them and came through. This whole museum is basically built on the village here that the massacre occurred. So as you can see behind me here and just here, they built the houses up on these big concrete blocks just so they had a nice foundation for them to build a house on it. But after obviously everything that happened, all the straw roofing and stuff like that was just destroyed and burnt down, and so all that was left was these big concrete slabs of the foundation of the house. It's very hard to kind of take your mind back all those years ago and think what actually happened here. But at the same time, you know, I think it's really important that people do come out and see places like this. So guys, just behind me here, this big ditch that runs all up here, this is the ditch where 170 of the 504 people in this village that were killed pushed into this ditch, made them turn around and then shot them at point blank. This is the actual ditch. 170 people were lined up here and then just shot. And guys, this is the memorial. That's 170. And then, as I did a walk by before, that is the big memorial of what happened here. And that's the ditch just there. Today is March 13th. We've only just clicked on because we saw these guys setting up just over here. These guys through there, I don't know if you see them. They're setting up all these stage constructions and we're kind of wondering what they're setting it up for. In 3 days time, it is going to be the 50th anniversary of the massacre that happened here in the village. I'm sure this would have been very full on to be here on the anniversary, but 50 years in 3 days time. Wow. This is pretty funny. They want a photo with Fanny. You famous? Yeah guys, they don't see a lot of us down here. Like, we are getting stared at, like you would not believe, pointed at, yelled at. As I said, not many people come down here, tourists. Guys, if you are a tourist, come here. Seriously, come here for the history. So we just stopped and got a bit of a drink and a chill out. Annie bought a little information book that basically just covers everything again. Guys, there's some of the stuff that actually happened here we're not going to talk about. It's not even human. Like, I don't even know some of the worst criminals in the world that would have done some of the stuff and the acts that happened here. Yeah, so I'm not going to go into it, but if you do come here, guys, I would highly recommend grabbing one of those books and reading into it. It just gives you that little bit more in-depth information. Be aware though, guys, it is extremely graphic and very disturbing. So guys, that was our tour of the Massacre Museum here. We hope you enjoyed that in a sense of, you know, being informative and factual. That is going to be it. We're going to leave it there today. This vlog's going to be long enough as is. Of course, we could have talked for another 3 hours on all the information and everything that happened here, but we'll leave it there. Remember to like and subscribe so you can keep up with everything that we're doing here, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye. I can't say it. What's it called? Quang Ngai. Quang Ngai. Quang Ngai.